Hi everyone, welcome to our 1-hour Vinyasa Flow class. My name is Bobbie with Mind Your Body Oasis, and the focus of our class will be on shoulders, opening up the shoulders, stretching into the shoulders, just trying to create some more space in the upper back, which is going to be helpful, especially if you sit at a computer all day and are typing, and will also help our posture. Maybe even relieve a little bit of tightness and tension up in the neck area as well. So looking forward to flowing with you. If you have any injuries, please accommodate for those, take any breaks you need to, and feel free to advance your practice as well if you have something different that you're working on in the class. We'll start just in a seated position for a moment. One leg crossed in front of the other. And we'll just warm up the neck here by dropping the head from side to side, trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. So making sure we've got a lot of space there, but just dropping the head from side to side, feeling out the neck. And then we'll do some neck rolls. So we'll drop the head down in front, tucking the chin in towards the collarbone and circling the head one direction. You can switch up the direction in 3, 2, and then we'll reverse, swinging the head in the opposite direction, rolling around, noticing how the neck feels in 3, coming back to center in 2, and finally 1. From here, we'll just keep the head in a nice neutral position and start to roll the shoulders back. So rolling the shoulders back so they come up towards the ears, and then rolling them back for 3, 2, and then we'll start to roll the shoulders forward. So just taking big shrugs through the shoulders, just shrugging forward with the shoulders, rounding a bit through the upper back, maybe finding some space already in between the shoulder blades for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just dropping the shoulders now heavy away from the ears. Let's drop the right hand down. Stretch and release the left arm up and over. Nose can point down. And then we'll come back through center, drop the left hand down, reach the right arm up and over. Good. Coming back up through center, we'll interlace the hands behind the back, clasp the palms to touch, and then stretch and open through the front body, really lengthening out through the front body here, keeping the navel drawn in towards the lower spine, but lifting through the sternum. And then reaching the arms around. We're going to round the back here, find a C shape with the spine. Find an interlace of the hands and then push the palms towards the front of the room. You can even tuck the chin and look towards your belly button here. Good. And then from here, we'll come back one more time, interlacing the fingers, palms to touch, stretch, open through the front body. And then rounding here, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms forward, coming back onto the tailbone. Good. From here, we'll lift up, and let's just switch out the cross of the legs, finding that comfortable seat again. Dropping the left hand down, stretch the right arm up and over. Side stretch, and we'll come back through center, opposite side. Stretching, getting into the side body here. Good. Coming up, let's bring the hands to heart center for a moment. Elbows out nice and wide. Take an inhale through the nose. If you like, you can exhale everything out of the mouth. Good. One more breath in. And one more breath out, just finding a bit of grounding here, connection between right and left side body. Good. From here, release the hands down to the floor. Walk the hands forward, just releasing into the upper back, maybe a little sway from side to side. You can walk the hands over towards one side, towards one knee, walking the hands back through center, walk them over towards the other side, opposite knee, keeping both sit bones down on the floor. Good. From here, we'll roll over the ankles. We'll come into a tabletop position. Stacking all the joints here, keeping the navel drawn in, back flat. The crown of the head pointed straight forward. We'll begin to walk the hands forward, but keeping the hips and knees stacked and just dropping the chest towards the floor. Breathing in deep, up into the upper back and shoulders, releasing the chest towards the floor with one more inhale. And one more exhale. And then pressing the hands firmly down into the floor, work the hands back into your tabletop position. We're going to do some hip circles here. So dropping the hips towards the right, swing the sit bones towards the heels, and then drop the hips over towards the left. Just finding a nice circular motion with the hips coming back over onto the heels and then dropping down over towards the side with the hips. We'll do this one more time in this direction, and then we'll switch it out. So moving one more time in this direction, and then switching it out, we're going to drop the left hip down, swing the hips back towards the heels, and then come around, trying to draw a circle with your hips, essentially. But getting some space into the lower back as well. One more time, circling this direction. And then taking it back into a child's pose for a breath in. And a breath out. From child's pose, drawing yourself back up into tabletop position. From tabletop position, we'll stretch the right arm towards the front of the room, just reaching through the right fingers. And then we're going to swim the right arm back and around, maybe grazing the floor and then coming back and around for 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold the right hand. We're going to reach it towards the back of the room. Take a small twist here. Open the chest up towards the right side of the room, and then replace the right hand down on the floor. We'll stretch the left arm forward and begin to swing that left arm back. Just noticing the range of motion that you have in your left shoulder. One more time, swimming that arm back. And then we'll take it back, we'll extend, and then just turn the chest slightly, open up, get a little twist through the upper back and mid back. And then placing that left hand down on the floor. Walking the hands forward once again, we find our puppy pose. Dropping the chest towards the floor, chin towards the floor, breathing in deep here. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Placing the hands back on the floor, walk it back into your tabletop. Good, from here we reach the right arm up and we find a thread the needle position. So right arm is going to come down onto the floor, you come down onto your right outer shoulder, onto your right ear, keeping the neck nice and long, breathing deep. And then pressing into your left hand, we'll come back up. Let's sweep that right arm back up towards the ceiling and then take it back down towards the floor. Left arm reaches up, just same thing on the other side. Left hand comes down, you breathe here. And then pressing into your right hand, push your left arm back up towards the sky and then take it down to the earth. So we come back into our puppy pose. Just dropping the chest towards the floor, chin towards the floor, breathing into the upper back and shoulders. And then we'll press into the hands, make our way back up into tabletop position. Good, curling our toes under here, draw the navel in. Let's create a cat spine. So pull the lower abs in, pretend you're rounding over a beach ball that you have right here. You're light on the fingertips and you're just trying to pull the lower abs in so tight that you create the C shape with your spine and you feel maybe a little bit of lightness in the hands here. Good, holding here, we're just going to add to the intensity by picking the knees up. If you want, you can stay exactly as you are. You can pick the knees up. And then start to squeeze the rib cage in towards the midline. Keep the navel drawing in nice and tight. And most importantly, keep breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the knees back down to the floor. And take that break in child's pose, hips to heels. Taking a breath in. And a long breath out. From child's pose, we'll make our way back up into tabletop. We'll stretch the right leg towards the back of the room this time, leveling off the hips, pulling the navel in. We'll bring the right knee in towards the nose, and then step the right foot in between the hands. Good. From here, you can pick your left knee up and wiggle it back just a few inches, coming into a deeper modified lunge. So extending the right knee towards the front of your mat, really leaning into that knee. Drawing the navel in, we're going to pick the stomach up off of the thighs, so just pressing into the right thigh, lifting the sternum, coming into a higher modified lunge here, holding and breathing. From here, we'll interlace the hands behind the back, palms to touch, and just keep stretching and opening through the front body. Keep bending into that right knee, keep the heart center nice and open here. Good, taking one more inhale, and then exhale, lower the hands down around your right foot. Curl your left toes under, lift your left knee up. You're in your high lunge here. From here, we're going to come forward an inch and back an inch. Just rocking back and forth. on the ball of the left foot for 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the left knee down to the floor. We'll pick this right foot up and we'll take it back into our tabletop position. But from tabletop, we'll extend the left leg towards the back of the room, squaring off the hips here, and then we'll pull the left knee in towards our nose and set the left foot in between the hands. Picking up your right knee, move it back just a few inches. Extend the left knee forward slightly here. And then pulling the navel in nice and strong, come up off of your left thigh. Keep pressing the navel forward. The knee forward, navel draws in. And then interlace the hands behind the back, palms to touch. Reach and open through the heart center. Go ahead, take another breath in. And another breath out. And then extend the arms down around your left foot. Come back slightly, pick your left foot up. Take it back into your tabletop position. We'll make our way into downward facing dog. So walking the hands forward just slightly. Pressing into all 10 finger pads. We'll curl the toes under, begin to lift our sit bones up towards the sky, and come into our inverted V position here. Just walking it out, shifting the hips from side to side, taking some movement here, maybe bending one knee and then the other, sinking the chest towards the thighs. Just any movement that feels a little intuitive to the body. And then with control, we'll lower the knees carefully back down to the floor, nice and easy. Good, restacking everything here. Hips and shoulders, knees, and also wrists, elbows, and shoulders here. Belly draws in nice and tight. We'll extend the right leg towards the back of the room. We're coming into our spinal balance. Left arm reaches forward. Pull the navel in nice and tight. Feel everything hug in towards the midline here. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Lower everything down to the earth. Pulling the navel back in. Extend, reach, opposite hand, opposite leg. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Lower everything back down to the floor. Good, walking the hands forward, come back into your downward facing dog shape. Lifting the hips high, shake it out here. So you're staying in your downward facing dog shape. I'm going to come out so I can speak. Good, holding your downward facing dog, lifting your sit bones towards the sky, really shifting the weight into the back body. Go ahead, take one more breath in, and one more long breath out. In your downward facing dog shape, extend your right leg towards the sky and bring the right knee in towards your nose. Step the right foot in between your hands. Good, you're in a high lunge now, so left knee is lifted here. Keeping the left hand down, stretch the right arm up for a twist. And then we'll begin to circle that right arm around. Just circling, it doesn't matter which direction. We'll switch it out in 3, 2, and when you're ready, switching, reversing opposite direction for 3. Good. Big circles with that right arm for 2. And 1. From here, rest the right hand down, step your right foot back to meet your left. You're in a high plank pose here. Holding here, lowering the knees as needed, or breathing for 3, 2, and then finding downward facing dog. Our left leg will lift. We'll slip the left foot in between the hands, finding our high lunge position here. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up for our twist, and then let's circle that left arm for 3, 2, and then reversing the direction of the circle for 3, 2, and then the left hand will come down. You'll pick your left foot up, step it back to meet the right. Hold your high plank here, modified or full plank for 3, 2, and then downward facing dog, lifting the hips towards the sky. Just shake it out in your downward facing dog for a moment. And then lower the knees carefully down to the floor, coming back into tabletop. We'll take 3 rounds of cat-cow here. Inhaling, pressing the chest forward, and exhale, round the spine. Good, 2 more. And exhale as you round. Last one, inhale. And exhale, round. Coming back into tabletop position, navel drawn in, walk the hands forward, find your puppy pose. Now with your puppy pose, you can bring palms to touch, bend the elbows and pull the thumbs back towards the nape of the neck, getting a different stretch through your shoulders, or keep the hands extended. 3 more deep breaths. All right, last breath in. And last breath out. And releasing the hands back down onto the floor. Let's walk it back into tabletop. From tabletop, we'll stretch our right leg back, reach our left arm forward, and then we're going to swing the left arm back, just like we were coming into that swinging motion, but we'll bend the right knee and try to grab a hold of the right ankle as best you can. Good. If you can grab a hold of that right ankle, flex the right foot and begin to kick the right foot towards the back of the room, lifting through the heart. Good. Opening up the shoulder and that right quad for 3 breaths. 2 breaths. And then release everything, coming back into spinal balance. Hold here, and then lower everything back down to the earth. Just roll out that right wrist. And then extend left leg, right arm. Once again, we'll swing that right arm back, grab a hold of that left ankle if you can, and then kick the left toes towards the back of the room, opening up through the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Extend, coming back into spinal balance, and then lower everything back down to the earth and just shake it out. Walking the hands forward slightly, curl the toes under. Let's come back into downward facing dog, and we'll start to walk our feet just mindfully towards the top of our mat, taking as much time as you need to get there. And then when you get there, just hanging in a forward fold, releasing the chest towards the thighs, lifting the sit bones towards the sky. We'll take an inhale, half lift position. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more times. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. Good. Sitting back into a chair pose. So dropping your sit bones, placing the weight in your heels, lifting the hands up. Hands come to heart center here. Weight is in the heels once again. Inner thighs can squeeze towards one another. Navel stays drawn in. Pull the rib cage in towards the midline. Hold in for another 2. And 1. We release, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Place the hands on the floor. We'll sit the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, dropping the left knee down to the floor. As you inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head, bending the elbows, finding goalpost arms. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades together and open up through the heart center. We'll bring the arms out to a T, like a windmill. We're going to turn and twist towards the right thigh. If you want, you can take a hold of your outer right thigh, take the right hand to that left hamstring back of the leg, and find an even deeper twist. Maybe you can extend that left arm up and over. Good. Inhale, coming back through center. Windmill the arms back, hands come to heart center. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, take the hands down around your right foot. Curl your left toes under, lift your left knee, step your right foot back to meet your left. You're in a high plank position. Options here. You can take your vinyasa from the knees or from the toes, or if you want to lift straight into downward facing dog, that is your choice. So, bending the elbows, coming into our chaturanga. Inhale, pressing, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, rep. Rolling back into downward facing dog, or just making your way up into our downward facing dog shape. Good. Holding downward facing dog for 3, for 2. And then we'll start that slow walk back up to the top of our mat, taking your time to get there. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming back into chair pose. Hands to heart center here. Pressing palms to touch. Try to make your elbows nice and wide. Your elbows pointing to each side of the room. Heart and sternum lifted. Sinking an inch lower. And then exhale, forward fold. Hands to the earth. Step your right foot all the way to the back. We lower the right knee down. Inhale, arms come up towards the sky. Bending the elbows, stretch open to heart center. Arms come out to a T, like airplane wings. And we turn and twist towards our left thigh here. Good. Finding maybe a deeper twist, a bind. Slide back then with the right arm raised. We'll all come back, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, release the left hands down around the left leg. Picking your right knee up off the floor, step your left leg back to meet your right. Good, moving through your chaturanga push-up or taking it back into downward facing dog. Your choice will meet in downward facing dog in about 5, 4, good, 3, and then coming into downward facing dog. Good, taking a breath in downward facing dog. We'll stretch the right leg towards the sky, pull the right knee in towards the nose, and set the right foot in between your hands. We'll stay up on those left toes, left knee, lifted, coming up into high lunge here. Hands come to heart center, take an inhale, open the chest, exhale. Let's take a prayer twist towards the right. Good, opening the chest towards the right side of the room. Any variations you want to take in this pose, you're welcome to. One more breath in. And then we'll come up into high lunge and open into warrior 2. So just adjusting the feet here. Left toes turn out towards the side of the mat. Right knee is bent, arms stretched out like airplane wings. Gaze over right fingers. Breathing in here. And then inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand comes down the back of the left leg. And then take the hands all the way down to the earth onto your left toes. We'll set the right foot back to meet the left, moving through Vinyasa, or taking it back into downward facing dog. Straight away. We'll meet you there in downward facing dog in 3, in 2, and from downward facing dog, extend the left leg towards the sky, pull the left knee in towards your nose, step it in between your hands. High lunge as you inhale. Hands coming to heart center, breathe here. Inhale and then exhale, taking your prayer twist towards the left. Good, holding for another breath in. And then we'll make our way back up into our high lunge position. And from here, we'll open to warrior 2. I'm going to do a quick switch so my back is not facing toward you. Good, sinking into your warrior 2 pose. Lengthening out to the legs. We'll reach forward with the left fingers. Reverse our warrior here. For 3, 2, taking the hands down around your left foot. Come onto your right toe. Step your left foot back to meet your right, holding your high plank pose. Moving through your Vinyasa. Chaturanga tricep push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, holding for 3, 2, and then looking between their hands. You can make your way to the top of the mat any way you choose. Jumping, sliding, gliding, stepping. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Getting ready for chair again, bringing hands to heart center, sinking low. Good, from here we're going to come all the way down to the floor, so take the hands down whatever you need to, making our way down onto our mats for a moment. Good, we're going to come into cow face pose. So we'll take the left knee, bringing it up and over our right knee as best you can here. Just make sure both sit bones, both glutes are sitting on the floor here. You're not leaning off to one side or the other. And then we'll bring your arms out to a T. The right arm is going to come under, the left arm is going to come on top for our eagle arm position here. Gardasana arms and Gomukhasana legs here. Feet are flexed. Good, opening up through the hips. Spine is nice and tall here. Now, we're going to breathe here and move a little bit, just small movements. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the fingers towards the ceiling, and then exhale, pull the navel in, round the spine, and then tap your elbow to your knee. Inhale, lift up. 2 more times, exhale and round. Good, working with your breath. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, round. Nice, coming back up, bringing the arms out to a T. Just take the hands behind you. Let's switch out the legs here. So just coming and crossing the legs. So now the right knee is on top, left knee is on bottom. Good, arms come out to a T. We'll take the left arm on top, the right arm on bottom now. So switching out the arms here. Good, finding that eagle cross of the arms as best you can. Inhale, lifting the fingers towards the sky. Exhale, rounding, tapping elbow and knee. Inhale, lift, tap the sky. Exhale, round, open up back and shoulders. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Nice, reaching back up. Bring the arms out to a T. Take the hands behind you and just bring the legs into a butterfly position. Soles of the feet together now. Good. From here, you'll take the hands and just walk them forward, coming gently into a forward fold, which we'll hold for about 5 breaths here. Releasing lower back, You can tuck the chin in towards your collarbone, round your spine slightly. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. 2 more breaths in and 2 more breaths out. Good, 1 more breath in. And then slowly begin to lift yourself up off of the floor. If you're folded forward, bring the knees, inner thighs to touch. We'll cross at the ankles, place the hands on the mat, move through Vinyasa if you like, or step it back and come straight into downward facing dog. Long meet downward facing dog in 3, 2, and then inhale, stretch your right leg up from your downward facing dog shape. Pull the right knee in towards your chest, step the right foot in between your hands. Coming back up into a high lunge position here. Good, arms come out to a T. We'll take the right arm on top, the left arm under, finding the eagle wrap of the arms. Good, and then from here, we'll put all the weight into the right leg, bring that left leg up and over, finding an eagle wrap of the legs as well. Good, coming to our eagle pose. Nice, holding for 3, 2, and then we'll stretch it back. We're gonna come straight back into the high lunge position. Inhale, bring the fingers towards the sky. Exhale, round the spine, tap elbow to knee. Inhale, stretch up, fingers towards the ceiling. Exhale, round, C-shape the spine. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. This time, as you come down, take the hands down around your right foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Take your Vinyasa or come into downward facing dog. We'll meet you in downward facing dog, or if you need to break in child's pose in 3, 2, and then bringing the left leg towards the sky, pull the left knee in towards your chest, step it in between the hands. When you're ready, coming up into your high lunge position, arms coming out to a T, right arm under, left on top, right arm under, left on top here as you sink into your high lunge. Picking your right foot up, lift it up, bring it around, cross it up and over your left leg. Good, holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Untying the leg, stretch that right leg back. Inhale, fingers towards the sky, lift through the heart, exhale, round, tap. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, round. 1 more inhale up. And exhale, round. Nice, releasing the hands down around your left foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Here's your chance to Vinyasa or come straight into downward facing dog. We'll meet you in downward facing dog in 3, and 2, and 1. From downward facing dog, beginning to lower your knees carefully down to the floor, walking the hands back, tabletop. 3 rounds of cat-cow with your breath. And then from your tabletop, making our way into puppy pose. 3 breaths here in puppy. And then coming back into tabletop. From tabletop, we'll curl the toes under, come back into downward facing dog. Good, 1 more breath in downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, right foot steps to the outer edge of your mat so that you're in your lizard lunge position. We'll lower our left knee to the floor. You can uncurl those left toes. We'll come down onto our forearms here, holding our lizard lunge position for about 10 breaths, just to allow the outer hip, the inner thigh, hip flexor area, just to release and relax. About 5 more breaths. And then coming up onto your hands, curling the left toes under, lift the left knee, step your right foot back to meet it, and then make your way into downward facing dog. Left leg lifts towards the sky. Step the left foot to the outer edge of the mat. We'll lower the right knee down. Coming into our lizard lunge position and holding here for 10 breaths. Taking your time to just sit in stillness for a little bit, giving a chance for that muscle group, the outer hip area, to release. About 5 more breaths. And then coming onto your hands, curling the right toes under, lifting the right knee up. Step the left foot back to meet it, and then make your way into downward facing dog for a breath. Drawing the navel in nice and tight, lower the knees down to the floor. Walk the hands forward, your variation of puppy pose. Deep breaths in, long breaths out. And then we'll place the hands on the floor, walk it back into your tabletop here. From your tabletop position, we'll thread the needle once again. Right arm reaches towards the sky. Bring the right hand down. Come all the way down onto the outer right shoulder here, reaching through those right fingers. If you have a variation that you want to take with your tabletop, you're welcome to do so. I'm going to flip around real quick. Go ahead, 2 more breaths in your tabletop position. Oh, sorry, in your thread the needle position. And then we'll push into that left hand, make our way back up to tabletop. Left arm reaches towards the sky. Come on down onto the left shoulder. The fingers are reaching and breathing here. One more breath. And then pressing into those hands, into the right hand, bring that left arm back up towards the sky, and then find your tabletop. From tabletop, we'll extend the right leg towards the back of the room once again. Left arm towards the front of the room. Find your balance here. But stay exactly as you are. Bend your right knee, pull your left hand behind you, grab a hold of that right ankle. And then when you're ready, you can kick that right foot towards the back of the room for 3, 2, and 1. We return to our spinal balance and hold for 3, 2, and then lower everything down to the earth. The left foot kicks back, right arm reaches forward. Find the balance here, and then if you want, grab a hold, make the bind. Lift the heart, stretch to the upper back. 1 more breath in, and 1 more breath out. Good. Coming back into our spinal balance for just a breath in, and then lowering everything down to the earth. Let's take 3 cat-cow movements. Once again, rolling through your whole spine here, taking time with these movements. Good. 1 more inhale, and 1 more exhale. From here, we'll walk the feet back. We'll come into a high plank pose. We're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the floor. So you can do this from your toes, or you can take your knees down, bend your elbows, come all the way down. Once you're on your stomach here, on the floor, you'll stretch your arms out to a T like airplane wings. We're going to roll over onto the left side. So press the right hand into the floor and roll over onto your left side. You can lift your head, rest on your mat here. Getting into your left inner shoulder area, pec muscles. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. We'll roll back over onto our stomach. Arms come out like airplane wings. I'm going to switch around. And then you'll roll over onto your right side, stretching into that right shoulder. And for 3, 2, and then roll gently over onto your back. From here, we'll take a baby cobra. So hands underneath your shoulder heads, legs together. Your 2 legs are now one. Squeezing everything in towards the midline. Inhale, pick the chest up off the floor. Exhale, roll back down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good, placing the hands underneath the shoulders and then pressing yourself up into your tabletop position. And then slowly making your way back into a child's pose for 3 breaths to release the spine. Good, for 2. Good, one more breath in child's pose. And then slowly make your way back up into your tabletop position. Good, from tabletop position, curling the toes under, lifting the hips up high, downward facing dog. You can shake out your head and neck here. We'll take our pigeon pose. So extend the right leg towards the sky, pull the right knee in towards the elbow, and then down all the way towards the wrist, coming into your pigeon. Good, flexing those right toes. Inhale, taking a lift through the sternum, through the heart center, and then walking the hands forward. Coming into the pigeon pose for 1 minute here, we'll hold it. If pigeon is not accessible to you, because of any knee injuries, then you can take figure 4 stretch on the back. Left leg out nice and long behind you. Taking deep breaths, settling in here, feeling both hip bones heavy towards the floor. We're about halfway there. Just keep breathing deep. One more seconds. Inhaling and exhaling. Taking one more inhale in. And one more exhale out. Slowly lifting yourself up if you're folded over. Good, if you're in figure 4 on the back, you can be just seated. You're gonna just roll over onto that right side, pull that left leg up. Good, coming into our butterfly stretch one more time here. Inhaling, lifting up on the fingertips, soles of the feet together. Exhale, walking the hands forward to release the lower back. Taking 3 more breaths in. And 3 more breaths out. One more inhale in. And one more exhale out. Slowly making your way back onto your sit bones. Close your knees, inner thighs to touch. We're going to grab a hold of the hamstrings and we'll make our way into boat pose. Any variation of boat that you're working on, you're welcome to take. Bend your knees, you can straighten your legs, you can release your hands towards the front of the room, opening up through the heart center. Good, and breathing here for another 3, 2. Last big breath in. And then we'll cross at the ankles, plant the hands. You can vinyasa your way back, or if you want, just lift straight into downward facing dog. We'll meet you there in about 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. When you're in your downward facing dog, your left leg will lift towards the sky. You'll pull the left knee in towards your left wrist. Setting up your pigeon here. If you took your figure 4 stretch, you can move on to your back to take your figure 4 stretch. Good. Inhale, lifting the chest, and exhale, walking the hands forward, folding forward for 1 minute here in your pigeon pose to release your outer hip and glute area on the left side as well. Begin taking deep breaths. Right leg is nice and long behind you. We're about halfway there. Taking a few more breaths. Taking one more big inhale. And one more big exhale. And then let's slowly come up. We'll come onto the left hip, swinging the right leg around. Once again, we'll come into logs of fire, working with those with the arms in Garudasana shape. So for our pigeon pose, we'll start with the left leg down on the floor. We'll pick up this right leg. We'll flex the right toes and place the right foot just a little bit above the left knee so that the shins are stacked one on top of the other. If this hurts your knee in any way, shape, or form, you can do that figure 4 stretch on your back. And from here, we'll take our eagle arms. So our left arm is going to come on top, our right arm is going to come on bottom. Eagle shape to the arms, just opening up to the upper back and shoulders. Now we'll take a breath in, maybe lift the sternum slightly, and then exhale, just round through the upper back. So you're bringing your elbows kind of in towards your chest, in towards your belly button area. Finding a nice rounding C shape of the spine. The outer hips are releasing as well. Multitasking here, open the upper back and shoulders as well as hips. Take one more deep breath in, and then pull the arms back up, or release the arms, take the hands behind you, and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth. This time the right leg will come under, the left leg will come on top for our legs of fire, double pigeon pose. And the left arm is going to come under, the right arm is going to come on top for our eagle arms here, Garudasana arms. And then inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, round, try to pull the elbows in towards the belly button here, drawing the navel in and holding and breathing. Taking a few more breaths. Deep breaths in. Long, slow exhale out. And then slowly lifting your arms back up. We'll release the hands, release the legs, and just shake them out in front of you. From here, we'll move ourselves all the way down to the mat. So you can scoot up to the top of your mat, place the feet flat on the floor, tuck your tailbone under, and roll yourself all the way down, coming into the beginning of a bridge pose here. So fingers are touching the heels, knees are in line with your hip bones. Draw the navel in nice and tight here, tuck the tailbone under, and begin to lift up into your bridge, lifting your hip bones towards the sky. You can stay here, or you can interlace the hands at your lower spine and draw the shoulder blades to touch. Whatever works best for you today. Good, lifting through the sternum, opening up the heart. Good, taking one more breath in. And one more breath out, and then slowly rolling yourself down one vertebra at a time. Super slow till your tailbone touches the floor. Good, we'll allow the soles of the feet to come together. The knees to open up into the lower back to settle into the floor. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. We'll come into one more round of bridge pose. If you have a wheel in your practice, you're welcome to do a wheel. So for bridge, we'll just do as we did, tucking the tailbone under, lifting up one vertebra at a time. For your bridge pose, you're taking your hands right beside your ears. Fingers towards your shoulders, elbows pointing straight up to the sky. And then when you're ready, pushing into the hands and the feet, coming onto the crown of the head, and then pushing into the hands, beginning to extend the elbows, hip bones towards the sky. Taking 5 breaths wherever you're at, in your bridge or in your wheel pose. Taking 4 more breaths in. Good, try to breathe as best you can in 3. Good, 2 more, inhale and exhale. And then if you're in your wheel pose, coming down gently onto the crown of the head, tugging the chin towards your chest, roll down along the back of the head, and then bring the hips all the way down to the floor. If you're in bridge, you're slowly rolling down, one vertebra at a time until the tailbone touches. We'll all bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to open to release the lower spine, lower back. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Close the knees and inner thighs to touch here. We'll scoop the knees up in towards our chest. Finding double wind removing pose. So just squeezing both knees in towards the chest, making the spine nice and long on the mat. Your tailbone is heavy into the floor here, and you're squeezing those knees in so tight. We'll take a figure 4 stretch from this position. So bending the right knee, crossing the left ankle above the right knee, finding a flex of the feet. Just opening up to the left outer hip for a moment. Then when you're ready, lower the left foot over towards the right side of the room. Your head can stay neutral, or you can look towards your left shoulder. If this doesn't work for you and the feet come apart, no big deal. Just come into a gentle spinal twist, whatever feels most natural on the body. The figure 4 twist just helps to get into the outer left hip a little bit more. One more deep breath in your twist. And then easing the knees back up in towards your chest. Uncross the legs here. Right ankle crosses underneath the left knee, finding that figure 4 shape, and then lowering the right foot down to the floor, coming into your spinal twist variation of choice today. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. Good. One more inhale in. And one more exhale out. Slowly pulling the knees back up in towards the chest. Let's find that double wind removing pose once again. Just squeezing the knees in towards the chest. And from here, we'll place the hands on the floor and extend the legs straight towards the sky, as straight as you can make them. Drop the tailbone heavy into the floor. Pull the navel down in towards the lower spine and hold and breathe. The legs up the wall, a little more active legs up the wall. You can point and flex the feet. You can roll out your ankles, circling them one direction, and then the other direction. And then bend the knees, bring both knees in towards the chest. Take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, lift up onto the tips of the shoulder blades. And we'll extend the left leg towards the top of your mat and reach the right leg towards the sky. Grab a hold of that right hamstring. Just give it a little pull in and then switch it out, and give your left leg a little pull in as you grab a hold of that left hamstring. You're going to pull your right leg in, give it a little pull, nice release for the back of the leg, and then that left leg, a little pull in. Good. One more time each side. And then to the left. And then pull the right knee in, but this time hug the right knee towards the chest. Let the left leg float gently to the floor, and we'll come into a spinal twist, crossing the right leg over the body. Looking out over left fingers, or just keeping the head in neutral. Taking one more inhale. And one more exhale. Coming back over onto your back, just extending the right leg out nice and long. Pull the left knee in towards your chest, and then take the left leg over the body. Breathing. Good. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Coming back over onto your back. Skipping both knees in towards the chest. Let's start a gentle rock from side to side. If this bothers your spine, just stay static, pulling the knees in towards the chest. You're able to just rock a little bit from side to side. And then coming back into center and circling the knees one direction, and then switching it out, circling the knees opposite direction. Circling the knees one direction, and then switching it out opposite direction. From here, you can stay with the knees hugged in, just massaging the lower back, circling or rocking. If you want to take happy baby, soles of the feet towards the sky, grab a hold of the outer ankles, big toe side of the foot or big toe side of the foot, and press the feet towards the ceiling, draw the knees down towards the floor. Make this a very active pose. Feet are pressing towards the ceiling as you actively pull the feet down towards the floor, knees to the floor. Good. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then we'll release the legs, extend the legs back up towards the sky, coming into that more active legs up the wall pose. All right, we'll hold here and breathe. Just reversing the blood flow for a moment. Bringing more blood down towards the heart. Releasing some of the pressure off the legs, off the feet that they experience all day. And then we'll start a slow descent of the legs down to the floor. So it's a slow release, just inching the feet. Just think about inching them down towards the floor. Take as many counts as you like here, with control the whole time. Whole body, front, top of the body stays pressing down into the floor as you lower the feet down. And then when the feet finally touch the floor, reach the arms above the head, point through the toes, take a nice full body stretch. Breathe and inhale in, and then take a big exhale out. Hands come down beside you, palms facing up, feet can relax wide open, and you've come into your final rest, which we'll hold for a few moments here. Allowing the breath to soften, allowing the feet to relax, the ankles to relax, all the way up to the knees. And then the torso relaxes heavy into the floor. And the backs of the hands are relaxing into the floor. Your breath becomes softer, a little more even now. Giving the body some time to rest. Good. Allowing this posture to be just the rest and the restoration that the body needs for the moment, and to carry you through the rest of your day as well. The yoga practice can be very energizing and also restful and rejuvenating. So taking that all into the body now and allowing it to fully relax and release. When you're ready to come back into your body, you can start to move the body just a little bit. You can keep your eyes closed, though, for as long as you like here, but just making some movement. Starting to deepen your breath once again. Starting to reconnect with your breath. Long, deep inhales. And long, deep exhales. Returning to that breath, that prana, that life force that flows through you. Just allowing it to nourish the body as you start to hug your knees in towards your chest. You can do that rock a little bit from side to side or circle the knees one direction then the other. And find your way over onto your side so that you can press yourself up into a seated position. You're welcome to close the practice any way you choose to today. If you just want to come into a seated meditation for a moment, I'll close with an Om, just in gratitude to this practice and to you for joining me today. Also a way of feeling a sense of connection across time and space and distance here. So if you want to join in for the Om, it's an inhale, and then on the exhale, we make the Om sound. Inhale deep. Namaste. Thank you everyone again. Have a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining me for practice today. Hope to see you again on the mat.